The Alldus podcast is brought to you by Alldus International, supplying your expert AI and digital transformation staffing needs across the US and Europe. Today, you are listening to our ServiceNow series, where we interview the best and brightest of the industry to share their story, advice, and views on the exciting world of ServiceNow and digital transformation.
You're listening to the Alldus podcast ServiceNow series. Our guest today is Kshitij Sheth. Kshitij is the Global Practice Head of ServiceNow COI at Orion Innovation. Kshitij, welcome to the show.
Hey, John. First of all, thanks for having me here. I'm really grateful you sent me an invite. So once again, thank you very much. So let me introduce myself. I'm
Yeah, please
Kshitij.
do. Yeah,
I'm
go
based
ahead.
out of New Jersey, and I am a global practice head of ServiceNow Center of Innovation at Orion Innovation. And altogether, I have started my career back in 2007. And at that time, I was just a tech consultant. And I just got an entry into the top SIs, which is in top four, right? And as a tech consultant, I put myself into the ITIL, IT service management, IT operation management, that kind of world. So at that time, in the ecosystem, there were a number of products in the market. You must be aware about like HP, Micro Focus. Ultimately, it's like the BMC Remedy and CA. So I have done a lot of hands-on work as a senior developer or administrator early in my career, and then I gained the knowledge specifically into this IT service management world. And after spending a couple of years there for top SI, I just moved to the another top SI within India. And that is where I got an opportunity to work extensively with my customer. And that firm has given me the opportunity to work across the region. When I'm saying the work across the region, I started back in India, and then I just saw a couple of years in Middle East as well as in Asia Pacific countries. And then I later on I moved into the Europe, and I also saw a couple of customers over there. And later on I moved to USA. So this is how I just roam around the world, and I saw different customer in various industries. And specific to a ServiceNow, I started moving into ServiceNow back in 2012. And that is where I seen most of the audience or maybe the number of customer at that time relying on the remedy. And ServiceNow was not that much popular. So we as a company, we just thought about why can't we jump into ServiceNow right at the beginning, form out a center of innovations, and then we started up a small group of practice. Again, we were hardly 5 or 10 people at that time, and then slowly grew the practice as a 100-member team, 200-member teams, and later back in 2022, we just grew up a team like 700 plus. So this is where I think all over the journey I have seen in terms of how ServiceNow worked. And within this last 10 years or 12 years, I have done a number of roles, starting from delivery, technical architect, the project manager, program manager, pre-sales, sales leader. And last, when I was with the previous employer, I was a sales director for the entire region, where I was responsible to grab the business from my customer, anything coming across ServiceNow, then it is landing to me, and I'm about to just out to my customer in terms of responding it, how the project looks like, and end-to-end programs.
Amazing.
And late in 2023, I just moved to Orion Innovation, and under Orion Innovation, I got a great opportunity to head the overall global practice as a ServiceNow Center of Innovation. And that is where, with the larger responsibility, I have to build the capability, I have to build the offerings, and I have to serve the existing customers, as well as I have to just equip my all the sales leader where they are directly connecting to the customer and they are grabbing the business. So this is in summary, I have gone through all
It's
this
a great
steps.
summary. It's really helpful, and it sort of answers a lot around your journey today. And you mentioned that you joined Orion Innovation in December of last year. So tell us a little bit more about Orion as a company, who you are, what you do, and then talk to us about your role within the business. So first of all, Orion, what does the company specialize in, and then its presence, and then we'll focus on your responsibilities.
Of course. So, Orion Innovation, once again, it's like a global leading digital transformation as well as the product development services firm. And this company has all around 6,400 plus a number of engineers. Those are working across the 12 different centers around the globe. When I'm saying around the globe, we have presence in Asia Pacific, we have presence in Europe, we have presence in Africa, as well as North America and Latin America. And the technology footprint wise, our company is working mainly into the 9 to 10 areas where we are calling as a center of innovations. And the center of innovations that is in the area of experience design, cybersecurity, cloud and infra, the data analytics, as well as the enterprise platform and the product engineering and the ServiceNow, right? So definitely ServiceNow is falling under the enterprise platform. So this is where we as a center of innovations, we are supporting our number of industry verticals, which is like a healthcare, you have sports and retails and entertainment, as well as you have financial services, you have a telecom and media. So all these verticals, they have their own structure and they have their own set of salespeople or delivery structure. But whenever there is a need around the service now, they are coming to us, which is a center of innovation, and we have to equip them and we have to help them to grab the business. So this is pretty much the structure, and our company is focusing mainly into the niche skill set as well as the area where other big SIs are working. We are not directly competing with them, but our intention is to provide them a valuable product as well as a service which is not in the market. So we are trying to create a differentiator amongst ourselves, and that is how we are going into the market.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that's something we talked about previously, which brings me nicely on to one of the questions I wanted to ask you. When you look at the services that you're providing for the customers, and some of which, are they don't previously exist, we're seeing a lot of attention towards Gen AI solutions, and Orion Innovations is helping customers understand that and create solutions.
Right.
What is your point of view as somebody who's working with customers on Gen AI solutions and its adoption into service now? What's the impact that it's going to have for partners like yourselves and customers?
So that's once again, John, excellent questions. And as we everyone know, that's Gen AI is a buzzing word around the entire ecosystem, and we are also like focusing too much into the Gen AI specific to Center of Innovation. So we have our core Center of Innovation who is focusing more on the Gen AI, and that is not only for ServiceNow, but there are a number of tools or there are a number of utilities in the market where our industry experts they are adopting the model, they are tweaking the number of use cases, and they are trying to deploy the solution for our customers. So let me give an example, right? So we have seen in this ecosystem that our customer are coming that, hey, I just need to understand. I have a lot of articles. I have a lot of materials in my repository, somewhere in the SharePoint, somewhere in my local database, but I'm not able to find the answer in a one click. So this is one of the example where our team has developed the solutions, and we are just trying to showcase to our customer, this is how the Gen AI solution will impact, and this is how Gen AI solution will be helpful. Now, in terms of ServiceNow, ServiceNow is also nowhere behind the race. ServiceNow is already, I would say, the early adopter of Gen AI. It's nothing new for ServiceNow as a platform or as a company. So they have started looking into the AI ML back in 2014-15, and I have seen number of solutions are present at this moment. So whatever you are hearing in this industry right now, which is a text to flow, text to code, or even you can see the case summarization, this is all the products is coming in last 1 and 1.5 years. But right now, what ServiceNow as a platform or company, they are just putting a focus more on like adopting the Gen AI models, right, across the industry, whether it's developed by OpenAI or it's developed by directly, it's available through NVIDIA or Hugging Face. So they did a partnership with those partners, and all together they adopted those models into the ServiceNow native platform. So recent, I have gone to one of the conference, which is the Knowledge 24, which I hear directly from the company representative that ServiceNow is adopting this number of models. And not only that, but ServiceNow is also enabling you all to bring your own model, which is on OpenAI, Google, or any other technology, any other platform, whether you can do the and or you can do the or. You can have an endless possibility. This is where exciting, and that's where we, as a company, Orion, we are trying to invest the money over there. We are trying to invest the time over there. And altogether, we are planning to develop the specific use case which can be useful for the customer, and that will be a unique to our customer.
Yeah, it's such a good point. And as somebody who attended Knowledge as well, it was incredible to see the rate of innovation and the demand from customers. I wanted to ask you a question on that because you work quite a lot with the customers. Your background is both technical and working on the sales side of things. What are you seeing right now that is working when you're speaking to customers about what they're looking for and offering them the various solutions that exist within ServiceNow? And all the other side of that question is, what are some of the challenges that you're seeing when it's speaking to existing customers who are utilizing ServiceNow, or some of the challenges in getting them to implement the platform as much as we would encourage them to do so? So the pros and cons when you're having these customer conversations.
Definitely. So I'm just taking a step back, and when I'm referring back in 2014 or 15, at that time we used to put all together too much effort while selling the product. We have to do a lot of research. We have to showcase customer that this is a service now. This is where the BMC. This is where the HP or Micro Focus products. Or at that time, customer is asking us saying that why I should choose service now and what are the pros and cons. So at that time, we had to create a nice material. We had to prepare a presentation to prove that ServiceNow is the leading technology and why you should go for that. But now I see the trend where most of the customer, and you might have also read it in the ServiceNow report, that 85% of the customer from Fortune 500, they already adopted the ServiceNow one or other way. And that is where I think big industries, right? Whether you talk about the manufacturing world or financial services world or even the telecom world, all the big customers, either they have adopted IT service management, CSM, HRSD, or security operations, or AI ops. So one of the technologies already working for those customers in their favor, and they see started result is coming positively. So now if we talk about in 2024, if I go to market and if I would say that this is the product of ITSM, this is the product of ITOM, nobody would listen, right? They are just focusing more on to, hey, show me something which is a value add, how my industry will get a benefit out of it. So I see the trend where the customer are asking more from you as an industry-based solution, specifically into the retail operations, or even you can talk about the financial service operation or in the telco, or even in the healthcare. So in my recent conversations, one of the retail customer, they have asked that, hey, this is where I have number of warehouse, I have number of retail operation stores, and customer started coming. Customer is asking so many things, and many times in my one of the store, maybe in the New Jersey area, or maybe in the Maryland, or maybe in Florida, I do not have a full control where my stock is going to be empty and when I have to do the restocking. I need some intelligence. I need some kind of a proactive approach. So that is where there is a great conversation started where personally I have shown them the Gen AI possibility by showcasing the proof of concept saying that you can have a number of sensors, you can understand the volume, number of customers are coming in the stores, and your demand. And if you put it across all the data into the single platform like ServiceNow, how it will add the value to your retail operations and how you can convert your business from maybe a loss making to a profit making, right? So this is one of the example how the industry is moving and how customers are approaching. And rather than showcasing them a plain ITSM, IT operation management or CSM, now the world has changed. People are asking more that ServiceNow keeps telling Gen AI, ML, and a lot of digitization effort, how you as an SI can help us to transform our the overall journey. So this is one of the example.
Staying on the topic of what's possible, I want to spend some time looking ahead. We taking into account your role within Orion Innovation. You joined in December of last year. You've now been with the business for several months, so you've got a good sense of what's possible. When you look at the roadmap, particularly the next year ahead for Orion Innovations, what are you excited about? What are you looking forward to working on? And between you and your team, what are some of the main objectives for the year ahead?
So it's a really great question. So again, when I moved to this Orion Innovation back in December, at that time, I understand, first of all, my work is to understand what is the company objective, what is the vision, and how company wanted to move, right, as a next step. So I understood directly from our leadership, and I have a direct access to the senior leadership in our office because I'm sitting in the headquarters. So having said that, the number of steps what would be required to grow our practice in the next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, I just jotted down the entire plan in terms of how many number of resource, how many number of certifications, what kind of capabilities, what kind of offerings we have to start building it around. Because earlier it was not present. Earlier people used to work in silos. And again, we have a number of customer where ServiceNow developers, ServiceNow technical lead or architect used to work, but as a growing company, our CTO and CEO has put the focus specifically on ServiceNow, and they just made it a center of innovation so that going forward, any customer would ask, "Hey, what exactly you are doing? What is your focus?" So we have a dedicated leadership rather than somebody pushing you from the leadership directly from a CEO, CTO, right?
Mhm.
So this is one of the area where we are heavily investing. Moreover, in terms of the roadmap, where I understand because I personally worked into the ServiceNow ecosystem for more than a decade. So coming up with that experience, I know how to build a practice, how to gain the confidence from customer, how to generate the revenue out of the interactions. So all this experience I'm putting into my next state of activity, and I'm planning to just create a system within the Orion so that we go uniquely in the market. We don't want to hit all the domains, all the products within the service now, because there are so many players, there are so many boutique the partners in this industry where if they need a ITSM developer, they need some kind of an IT operation, or they need kind of a small application development. There are a lot of competitors. But what
Mhm.
specifically Orion can do, so my focus is to go specific to domain, and domain like the financial services or the telco, where I'm talking directly to the industry expert, doing the number of workshop and building the native solutions on top of a ServiceNow product like FSO or TSO.
I want to finish now talking on some of the other work that you do, and that's probably outside of your day-to-day role at Orion, but I know you're passionate about being a senior advisor and a mentor in the space. Is there anything that you could tell us about what you're doing within the wider community, how you're working with customers, industry experts, graduates, new people into the ServiceNow community? Just talk about why that's important to you and some of the work that you find interesting outside of your core role.
Definitely. So again, this is like, as I mentioned, I have more than a decade of ServiceNow experience. So I wanted to leverage that expertise to the others' benefit as well. And I wanted to give it back to the community. So how do I do that, right? And everybody has a job of 9 to 5 or 9 to 4. That is where people are doing or putting their lot of effort. But what outside of those business hours? So this is where I started thinking 5, 6 years back. And that is where I started putting myself into the community, and in my past organization also, I was just directly talking with respect to number of university and number of vendors where they are trying to develop their service now practice, or even some of the graduates to whom I know personally by relation or by the friends and under my LinkedIn network, they are always approaching that, hey, Kshitij, this is where I am stuck. This is where I am going for my engineering. I am going for my master's, but what is next? So I used to tell them that this is the path, this is the technology. Again, this technology is proven in the past 10 to 15 years, and whether this technology will stay forever, my answer is at least for next 10 years, there is nothing is going to happen because service now is continuously changing and it's adopting in this demanding market. So if you're asking me AI, if you're asking me ML, or if you're asking about Gen AI, everything is embedded. So you don't need to go anywhere else where you as a kind of a beginner, you have to learn the too much coding into Java, .NET, or any other programming language. Rather than putting the effort, why don't you learn something over here? And I personally can help you how to groom, how to go to the next level from administrator to implementation specialist and then the architect. So I'm personally mentoring a number of associates around the world, and they are approaching me via multiple channels. So these are the things I would like to share over here.
I love it. Thank you so much. Um, Final question from me then. I want to bring it all back around full circle back to Orion Innovation. As you said, you're involved in so many different aspects of the business. You're seasoned within the ServiceNow community. Since joining Orion Innovation, you've obviously learned about the business. If you were speaking to a potential future employee of Orion Innovation and you wanted to convince them that joining Orion over some of the other great partners out there, what is it that you would tell them about the business, the mission, the environment that would convince them to join your team over some of the other great companies out there?
Once again, it's a great question, and that is applied to me as well, right? And you might be thinking, coming from a top SIs, why I should come over here, Orion as a mid-sized company, right? And so answer is very much simple that there are so many things happening around the big companies or the large scale companies where you are having the number of departments, you are having the number of center of innovations, but the leadership focus, right? When somebody is telling that this is the technology, whether it's a Google, whether it's a Microsoft or it's a ServiceNow, where you want to grow, what kind of investment, what is the roadmap? So personally, my experience with the large company where I used to work, there I see that the intelligence is coming, the direction is coming from the top, but executing to the larger audience till the bottom part of this organization, it is becoming a kind of a process oriented. And there are a lot of steps where you need to follow the process, you need to comply with the regulations, and there are a lot of challenges I've seen. So even though you as a leader, you want to enforce something, you want to convey the message, it is not going to work in your favor. So that is what I seen versus Orion. Once I landed into Orion, if I need to build something, if I need to just hire number of people, if I need to talk about to do the collaboration with number of my industry vertical leads or the heads, it is a straightforward. And that is where I'm basically the empowerment is the word, right? And that is where I see a lot of things are moving naturally and positively. So this is where if I would talk to my some of the candidates as a part of the future Orioneers, how do I convince or how do I tell that, hey, you might have worked in the large practice where 600,000 or 1,500 people might be working into ServiceNow space, but what you do, what you are being recognized, and what is the growth, are you getting that clearly from your supervisor? Tell me the clear answer. If I would be able to get a clear answer, then I think it would be end of the story. If I would not be getting an answer, that means the candidate is interested to know how I'm doing here differently and what is my vision and how do I help them to grow for future journey.
Exactly. Kshitij, thank you so much for coming on today and talking to us. Really appreciate you sharing your own journey and your backstory. Great insight into your new role and the world at Orion Innovations and what you're doing for your customers. And we appreciate all the insight and advice that you've given here today. So we wish you, the team, and everyone at Orion Innovations the best of luck in the months and year ahead. We look forward to having you back on the show again in the near future.
Thank you, John. I really appreciate the time and the effort. Thank you once again.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Alldus podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any Android podcast of choice. You can also head over to our website, www.alldus.com, to listen to more podcasts, view our open roles, and stay up to date with industry news. Thanks for listening and stay tuned for more great episodes coming very soon.